Ladies and gentlemen, we're pleased to introduce Jon Rahm to the interview room. Jon, welcome back to the Masters.
Thank you.
Jon has played in 6 Masters. He has 4 top 10 finishes. We'll begin the interview with questions in English and then leave time for Spanish. Jon, with those past experiences, what have you learned that you're applying to your preparations for this year?
I feel like it's very difficult to apply everything you learn from each round here at Augusta National. I think the main thing is you get an idea of how to play each hole, get in the golf course, getting to play the golf course in every single wind, every single possible conditions, right? Which every year I feel like the weather's been a little bit different and we've seen different things. So just getting that knowledge helps. Obviously, the more you play, the more comfortable you get with a little bit of the lag putting out here, I would say. It can be very deceiving to understand some of the breaks and some of the speeds on the putts. You know, a little bit of learning, things like that, and then at the end of the day, it's a golf course where you have to come out here and play good golf, right? It's plain and simple. There's no trick to it. The best player wins, and that's what you got to do.
Daniel.
You've had remarkable success on the PGA Tour so far this year, but as a test of golf, how different is this than what you see week in and week out on the PGA Tour? And as a result, does it make how you were playing before not maybe as indicative as it would be for another major?
I mean, you can always, the form you're on can always be indicative on how good a chances you have, but at the end of the day, it's a new week, right? What you've done before doesn't really matter. Period. There's been many times where there's players that haven't had their best year, but for some reason they come out here and they feel confident on their chances, and they've done good golf, right? Some of the lefties come to mind. They've always come out here and have good performances. Obviously, Tiger, every time he came out here, it seemed like he had a good chance. Jordan, no matter what, he's up on the radar, right? So, again, there's something about this golf course. I think it's because it allows you to play however you want to play it. That always gives every player a chance, right? There's multiple options of the tee, multiple options into greens. There's not one style of golf. You can pretty much do it however is most comfortable for you, and if you play good golf, you might be able to get it done.
Sean.
Yeah, the number of times you play here, the experience you build up, a lot of guys say they get more comfortable. Certain things get easier. I'm curious, as time goes on, you rack up tournament experience here. Is there anything that gets tougher?
I wouldn't say anything gets more difficult. I mean, not to keep talking about the same hole I think everybody talks about, but 12 doesn't seem to get any easier anytime you play it. There's other holes that you get more comfortable with. That one just depends on the wind gust and if you pull the right club or not, right? That would be the only thing I would say. Is the one hole out here that I think has a question mark for all of us, because it's just depending on the day. There's been days where you get there, the wind's dead, and it's the easiest 9-iron you'll hit. And there's days where the wind's a little swirly, and the club ranges. You have no idea what the wind's doing. You kind of have to get comfortable with your choice and try to execute right. And you see a little bit of everything. Every other hole, though, I think you can pretty much manage your game pretty well out there. That one is just, the margin of error is so small.
Jon, there's a clear gap now between the world's top 3 and everybody else. What have you, Scotty, and Rory got that nobody else has?
I wouldn't know what to tell you. I really don't know exactly what to say. Usually point difference might be a lot larger than what the actual game difference might be between the 3 of us, if that makes any sense, right? If we're talking about half a shot around, that's just absolutely nothing. That's one good bounce, and there's a difference, right? So, but you create your own luck, I guess. So we've just been playing in good form and feeding off each other, and obviously since, well, Scotty starting it last year and myself later on the fall, we've been able to rack up more wins than anybody else, and I mean, it boils down to that, just being able to get it done.
Like you motivate, inspire, and push each other to be better?
I think so, yeah. I mean, I was there on Sunday with Scotty when he won in Phoenix, and you never like that feeling, right? So when I went to LA, I definitely fed off of that on that Sunday round.